The wedgie gone wrong. You know how in school, wedgies were an embarrassing prank? Well, for one Oklahoma man, this childhood joke turned deadly. In December 2013, 33-year-old DlE Davis gave his stepfather an atomic wedgie after an argument. But this wasn't your typical schoolyard prank. Things escalated fast. Davis yanked his stepdad's waistband up so high, it went over his head and around his neck, strangling him. Death by undies. A courtroom would later hear that Davis had meant to humiliate him, not kill him, but it's hard to recover from the idea of death by wedgie. Bite the dust. Our next story takes us way back to ancient Greece and involves Aeschylus, one of history's most famous tragedians. Ironically, his death was just as tragic as the plays he wrote. In 455 BC, Aeschylus was walking outside when an eagle soared overhead with a tortoise clutched in its talons. Apparently, the bird mistook Aeschylus's shiny bald head for a rock, what a compliment, and dropped the tortoise onto it to crack open the shell. While the tortoise lived on, Aeschylus wasn't so lucky. He died from a massive blow to the skull. The Greek tragedians certainly didn't see that one coming. Death by tortoise bombardment. Self-defense against a cactus. Arizona is known for its scorching deserts and towering cacti, but David Grunman, a local man, underestimated just how dangerous a cactus could be. One day in 1982, he decided to go target shooting and thought it'd be fun to take on a 27-foot saguaro cactus. Bad idea. After firing a few rounds, the massive cactus collapsed, and one of its heavy arms fell straight onto Grunman, crushing him to death. It turns out, picking a fight with a cactus, especially one that's been standing for centuries, was a prickly decision. You can't escape gravity. Our next cautionary tale of hubris takes us to a Toronto law office in 1993. Gary Hoy, a seasoned lawyer, was proud of the unbreakable glass windows in his office on the 24th floor of the Toronto Dominion Centre. To impress a group of interns, he decided to run at the glass at full speed to show just how sturdy it was. The glass, in fact, did not break. Unfortunately, the entire window popped out of its frame, sending Hoy hurtling through the open space and plummeting to his death. Zombie snake attack. What's worse than a snake bite? A snake bite from a dead snake. This bizarre scenario unfolded in 2014 in China when Chef Peng Fan was preparing a meal of snake soup. He'd decapitated a cobra and set the head aside. What he didn't count on, though, was the snake's nervous system still being active. When he reached for the head to dispose of it, it lashed out and bit him. Despite being severed from the body, the venom was still potent, and Peng died shortly after from the cobra's venom. Cows can fly. In 2013, João Maria de Souza was enjoying a peaceful night at his home in Brazil when disaster quite literally fell from the sky. A cow, which had wandered from a nearby hill, somehow found its way onto the roof of de Souza's house. The roof, not built to support a full-grown cow, gave way, and the animal came crashing down onto de Souza as he lay in bed. While the cow walked away relatively unscathed, de Souza wasn't so lucky. He was crushed to death. Who knew you had to worry about cows dropping from the sky? Goodbye, gum lover. In 2009, a Ukrainian chemistry student named Vladimir was known for his love of chewing gum. He was also known for his experiments with chemicals. Unfortunately, these two hobbies collided in the worst way possible. One day, he accidentally mixed some explosive chemicals into his chewing gum while working in his home lab. When he popped the gum in his mouth, the reaction caused it to explode, killing him instantly. Moral of the story: don't mix chemistry and bubble gum. The curse of the beard. Hans Steininger, a 16th century Austrian, holds a dubious record. He had the longest beard in recorded history at over 4 feet. While that may sound like a point of pride, it would ultimately be his undoing. In 1567, a fire broke out in his town, and in his haste to escape, Steininger tripped over his own beard and fell down a flight of stairs, breaking his neck. His beard was the very thing that sealed his fate. So, next time you're thinking about growing out that beard, maybe keep it a little more manageable. Drowning in a beer vat. In what could only be described as a drinker's worst nightmare, our next story takes us back to 1814 London, where the streets were briefly flooded with beer. The Moo & Company brewery experienced a massive vat rupture, releasing over 1.5 million liters of porter beer. The beer wave demolished walls and flooded nearby homes and pubs. Unfortunately, 8 people died in the chaos, and 1 man tragically drowned in the brew. Imagine surviving fires, plagues, and wars, only to be taken down by a beer tsunami. For these unlucky Londoners, it was quite literally a pint too far.